age-old
human
question.
nature.
The age-old question, and this is the one I posed before.
Yes.
Are these people aliens? Or possessed by aliens?
Yeah.
Are they devils?
Yeah.
Possessed by devils? Or are they just purely evil humans?
Yeah.
Either way, their actions,
without doubt,
you cannot differentiate.
Absolutely.
This is what they're like. Aliens taking over the planet to
Yeah.
kill us all. That's how they act.
I
And what are those three things they fit into? To be honest, I don't know.
Tessa,
I
you
do
can't
not-
even after what we learned, after when you do wake up and when you do learn about the reality of the situation that we live in throughout the world, you cannot discount the fact that there is something sinister going on with some higher level to try and create more dominance for whoever or whatever it is.
Yeah,
So,
but I think that there are, like you would always say, they're a product of their environment. They're like that because
No.
they've grown up in
That's
a system
why
that
we were
encourages
saying
them to be
before.
like that. And I think they're just an aspect of the human. They are the worst of us,
Yes,
represented in that form. And we here are a different part of it, trying to pay them
absolutely,
out. You know, we're all
absolutely.
still the same human.
I don't know how far genetic engineering's come. They might be able to, by this stage, with all the best scientists and the highly regarded minds around you and at your disposal, we might be at a stage right now where you can genetically modify yourself to be even transhuman. So I'm not even sure if they could be human anymore. Okay, they might think, now we're getting to the stage of technology where you could actually make yourself God. In the next 50 years, I was listening to a podcast today and they were saying within 10 years, it will be economically viable for you to grow your own organs.
Yeah.
Grow your own organs. So
you're right. We actually don't know what they're up to.
We
just
don't know. We don't know who these absolute elite are up to. You know how long they can live, who they are, and
it's so. I'm so fucking. I'm not naive, but I cannot accept that people are.
I don't know what's going on with
I
this
can't. I know
fucking
that's the case, and I have to eventually just try and assume that people are doing bad things, but I can't. I have never seen it myself. I've never seen evil.
No,
so
you
it's
have.
hard for me. No, I have not.
You have.
What?
Well, what is evil in a point?
I don't know. I've just never seen
You've been
people
to
the way
America.
that I
You've seen
think
people
that-
living on the street. I believe that's evil. I believe.
You're right. You just do shit.
No, you've asked a question which is one of those things.
What's that?
He didn't just do a shit.
Hang
Hang on, can you hold that thought? I looked up the 3% thing, and it was the only I didn't look very hard into it to the point of your answers.yahoo, but that's the first thing that came up was 3%. I saw it in a few other search results. Yes, 3%, 3 to 4%. But the argument here is that, and this is what we learnt at uni, is that because the Earth is in such a balance with its, ingoing and incoming and outgoing, whatever, balance between the CO2 and oxygen levels and everything like that, that any slight change in that can tip it towards one way and it becomes a runaway effect.
So that's an obvious fraud because we know in the past, hundreds of years ago, the carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere to be many, many, many times higher than it is now.
Yeah, but the point is that it's not about whether or not we're killing the Earth. That's not it. It's like whether or not it's going to affect our current living lifestyle.
No. I think it's about is humans by our activities significantly changing the atmosphere, and the answer is no.
So do you have a problem with us still? Do you have a problem with us still burning oil?
Where's our water engines? Where's our free energy engines?
Yeah.
Where's all these hidden technologies that have been ripped out of humanity forever?
Like Tesla?
Tesla and the rest of it, it's like, here we are using internal combustion engines, like they're the latest technology. They've been around for 100 years. Give me a break. This is bullshit, right?
Well, I actually posted on the Facebook podcast website today, and It was about, there's been a proven design, it's about 3 foot by 3 foot. It's a little machine, it uses 10 watts of energy, less than a hairdryer. It turns any water substance of polluted, whatever disease, any water into pure hospital grade drinking water, which is injectable to a human.
Okay, so what we're
And
talking...
do you know who's got it? Coke.
Well, goodbye to that. Goodbye to that.
Coke, and
Okay,
they're going to
because-
distribute it to the third world, apparently.
Yeah. They
Coke
are. They are. You know, it's
What are
like...
they going to put in it?
So this is a joke, right? So there's all these technologies humans have invented for millennia,
No.
and it's all swept under the cup, and we've got all this potential, and we don't use it. It's bought up by corporations,
Sure.
and they put in the bottom closet. You forget about it. You know, what about the tyre? I think it was Michelin, or it was a company in Europe. They produced a tyre that would never, ever, ever, ever wear out. Well, that's not good for tyre sales, is it? You know,
It's like a light bulb.
Yeah, and exactly.
Light bulb,
So look,
everything.
we're facing a very, very coordinated crime syndicate whose foundation and belief system at the fundamental level is Satanism and death
Do you believe
law.
that? You believe?
So you're saying
Do you
they're
think that's a
Satanism?
fact that they do believe in some form of Satanism?
I have no doubt in my mind.
Really?
Right?
And
And
is Satanism particularly as in the opposite of...
As
the
in
opposite of
literally
God.
worshipping
The opposite
So
of
you're saying
God.
that they're...
Like what? Like
The opposite to Jehovah. The opposite to
Allah.
Allah.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on. What is that? The fucking Bohemian Grove.
And on it goes.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
on
Yeah.
it goes.
So that's
On it goes.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's what I come down to.
So that's what you're talking about. That sort of shit.
Yeah,
Ritualistic,
and satanic ritual abuse and
Sure, okay.
raping and killing children, all that sort of stuff that they love, right? They love it. They love it. They can't get enough of it. And they can't. They really can't. And because power corrupts, and power corrupts absolutely. And there's interesting people in the movement these days who will say, we have to understand these people, we have to come to terms with these people. There's others who say we've got to shoot these people. And it really is an interesting.
Shooting, if that's all the case. And
No, but I think it's an interesting.
We have to put them to our
No,
breast and pat them on the head and tell them.
we have to
we
do
have to give
better.
them mushrooms.
We have
Yeah.
to do better. We have to be more enlightened, and we have to be more advanced than the systems and the processes that have gone on before us. But I certainly accept there's going to be a huge challenge for humanity as we go through the Nuremberg 2 trials. That's what it's going to be, Nuremberg 2.
Oh, really?
And we're going to basically bring these people before justice.
Definitely.
We're going to understand their crimes, and I know that the average
Not unless they
person...
change the law so that it's not a crime.
The average person is going to hound for
Wouldn't they
capital
just go down in
punishment and
flames?
things like that. Well, I reckon half of them are going to be lucky to get to court. They're going to be lynched on the way. But I talk to the people who are listening today. Right, it is about there is a revolution underway.
Yes,
and it's not a revolution. Well, it is a revolution. What we're part of is actually a counter-revolution. We're going back to the way things ought to be, the way things should be. It's about family and social values. The revolutionaries are the people, the governments and the criminal organisations who are trying to change our way of life to a way so they can have their dictatorial control over us, and it's just completely unacceptable.
That's what I
It's
say.
completely unacceptable.
That's what I think.
And
Definitely.
so we're in a situation where we need to be better, we need to be stronger, we need to be more moral.
We need to cooperate.
And we need to cooperate, and we need to drop our differences. At the end of the day, we've all got a common enemy, and realistically, most people come from the fight from, I'm upset about this and I'm upset about that, and you know what? Between us, we've got a very, very large list of grievances. And it's about making sure that we spread the word on these things. So it's talk to your neighbours, and when it's uncomfortable at dinner, have those conversations because you have to.
Yes,
you have to.
It's not the time for political correctness.
It's
Talk about
not
religion at the dinner table.
talk about everything.
Talk about everything, and you know what? We're winning. We're winning. They're failing on global warming.
Yeah.
They're failing on the agenda for their wars. They're failing on their censorship on the internet.
That's what I'm saying. Where do you come across with what they're planning with war? Do you think that the people... let's say there's a point of humanity. Me and Tess always talk about this. We always say, what would the point be where everyone wakes up like that? Would it be the point where people know for a fact that 9/11 was an inside job?
Would that be enough?
Would that be enough?
No. Well, yes, it would, if you could get a percentage to say, yes, I believe that. But I'd say that's probably not your trigger item anymore. And I remember Michael Rupert put it so beautifully well. He said, 9/11 was the elephant that hit us. And it's run away, and it's running that way. Yeah. And it's like we can sit there and we can spend our time focus on the elephant that's running away from us. Right now, we've got 20 elephants running us down, and if we need to face that.
So
I think there's also a shift in consciousness where people just don't want fucking violence anymore.
But that's happening. That's happening. That's part of a bigger thing. That's part of the galactic realignment, the changing of ages, the growth of humanity, the mental thing. This is in a whole other side that's going on simultaneously.
Fuck, I'm glad there are people out there like us.
I'm really
we thought we're the only ones just sitting here talking about this shit, and then
okay, let me give you
Who's blowing my mind?
let me give you the biggest and most amazing piece of news, and this is for everybody. This is for everybody, right? The last domino to drop.
Yes.
Okay.
Is you are not alone.
Yeah, that's right. We know that. That's all good.
You are surrounded by like-minded people thinking that this has got to fucking change. It's got to fucking change.
Well, do you know
what are we doing about fucking fixing this?
No, I know.
I thought you were talking about aliens.
Okay, so this is to everybody. Get off your ass. Speak to your neighbours. Get informed.
Definitely.
You've got to do everything that you can. Call into talk radio. Write into letters of the editor. Talk to your local. Our political system is broken. I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe if you've got some spare time, write a letter to your local MP and go, you know what? There's some trials on the way, and you better not be on the wrong side of it because you're going to be in jail for life. What are you doing to support the people of this country and the people of the world? And we know your crimes, and you know.
So I think we have a WikiLeaks supporter in the room.
Okay, well, WikiLeaks is a whole new other thing. Julian Assange, is he a CIA stooge?
Oh, really?
Really? But you know what? I don't know him. I don't know his motivations. I don't know where he come from. I really don't know. There's a few things that are very, very questionable. But you know what? He's done a very good job of bringing information into the open. And I'm a big fan of any publicity is good publicity. If someone does a little bit and they do a few things wrong, it's like we can kind of forgive. And we don't understand the motivation, so we've got to give the benefit of the doubt.
Surely he's only there for just freedom of information.
He's perpetuated the mainstream agenda for war. That is what he's done. Okay, and that would require me a couple of minutes to explain. I probably can, but it's like he's saying here's a background that supports the official position. Here's a background that supports the official position, and it's all bullshit. The wars are bullshit from top to bottom.
Yeah, of course
they have been for over a century, probably 2 centuries. They are nothing to do with the reasons that purported to be.
Fuck no. But he's not saying that. All he's wanting to bring to light is the atrocities that are being committed in the war that we don't know about.
All I'm saying is that there's some opinion that he's pushing the wrong barrow. But I'm trying to be more open. Yeah. It's just like everyone's going to do what they're going to do in their way, and sometimes it might appear to hurt, but you know what? They're just trying to release things in their way, and let's all power. So individuals, go out and do whatever you want to do. Go out and letterbox box drop, start a blog, start a podcast like this.
Yep.
You're incredible. You're going to go down in history. You are.
Well,
right?
We need to do something.
And, well, you know what? Fucking do it, because if things go right, you will go down in history. If things go wrong, you'll be dead like the rest of us.
Exactly.